Messenger, that's worse.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Mom's Prayer Tribe. I will turn my camera on in a second. Before I do, I wanted to read today's devotional, 365 Days of Prayer for Women. It's called Words of Life. I tell you, on the day of judgment, you will have to give an account for every careless word you utter. For by your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned. Matthew 12:36-37. And then it says, Lord, your words are beautiful, life-giving, and inspiring. I wish all of mine were the same. When I think of how many times I've said something and then wished I could take it back, or worse, the times I wasn't even sorry for the hurtful things I uttered, I know I need your forgiveness. And what of the careless words, the ones that didn't even register to me, but have done damage I can't repair? You can do the impossible, and I pray you will. Mend the hearts I've hurt with my words, including my own. When unkindness or criticism tries to leave my mouth, let it be caught in my throat. Then fill me with words that give life and a desire to share those words with others. And then the question is, are you careful to speak only words that give life? I think that was definitely a word, because I know for a fact that when my husband just asked me an obvious question, that had an obvious answer, I was like, sir, listen. So that definitely was a message. Yeah, that was definitely a message for me, for sure. So I want to welcome our speaker today. Tonight is Akeda Wilkinson-Ellison, or she might just go by Akeda Ellison now.
I do. I keep Wilkinson on Facebook just in case people from
are looking for
like high school or whatever are looking for you. So I keep that there, but it's too long.
Akeda is no stranger to the Mom Tribe, so you all know her. For those of you who don't, she will introduce herself and then she'll get into her thing for tonight, whatever her plans are for us, and we'll go from there. So welcome.
Thank you for having me again. I was just talking to one of the coaches and I was like, I hate praying out loud, but here my best friend go having me on the internet praying. So, gonna go ahead and do it again. But like you said, my name's Akeda Ellison. My 3rd anniversary is coming up next week. But we've been together 14 years. We have 5 kids between us. 2 out of the house, 1 unfortunately didn't make it, and 2 still in the house. And life is hectic. They're all involved. Kylie's cheerleading, Chance's football. Kylie also does Girl Scouts. I'm on the PTA board at both their schools. So we're always busy and running around. My husband works 2 jobs. We're blended. Obviously, my oldest is 26. His oldest is 22. And then I have Chance, who's 14, and we have Kylie, who is 10 together. So she's the only girl, as you can imagine. That's fun. But so all week I've been teetering between, just thinking about the things going on in my personal life right now. So it's been heavy thinking about the kids who are stuck in the middle of the blended families and the parents and how they either attempt or not attempt to blend or accept the blending. I don't think we really realize the impact we have on our children when we refuse to co-parent with the other person. So my oldest is going through, he just got divorced last year. And he's going through a hard transition of trying to figure out what that parenting looks like. And it's heartbreaking when you think about it. So baby's with mom most of the time. He ended up moving out of the state for a while. He just moved back, and she's being really difficult in terms of cohesively co-parent. So he's still 2 hours away, but he's trying to keep his every other weekend schedule. And she's being petty like to the T. Like if he picks him up at 11 o'clock, she's like, you gotta have him back at 11 o'clock. He picks him up on Thursday, drops him off on Sunday. So if he picks him up at 11 on Thursday, she's like, he has to be home at 11 o'clock on Sunday. And then she's not even home when he drops him off. So he's dropping him off to an auntie or grandma. And I'm like, he hadn't seen his dad in 6 months. Why do you feel the need to, it lessen the time that he would be able to spend? Because he has to go back, he has to go to school. So it's not like he could have kept him another night, but to be so petty where you have to be like 11 o'clock on the dot, could you pick him up at 11 o'clock? So just little things like that. And, he's only 4. So of course, the prayers that they have time still before you really can, those memories stick with them not getting along well. And then just, it's hard. Blended families are so hard. My 14-year-old is, dealing with the fact that his dad's not around at all. So, just that scenario and all the other things, how it's like the kids get left behind and people don't realize that. So the anger Chance is walking around with right now is like, I can't do anything for him. There's nothing I can say or do or buy, or, there's nowhere I can take him that's just going to erase the fact that he is now old enough to realize his dad he literally calls him a deadbeat. Like, he's a deadbeat. That's what he calls him. He refuses to say his name. He's definitely not calling him dad, but there's nothing I can do for him to help ease that. And it's like really frustrating, and you can't even call the other parent because, even if I was able to call him would be like me accusing him of something. He wouldn't see it from the standpoint of my son is hurting, I need to help my son. He would see it as me telling him what he is doing, what he ain't doing, and and it would turn into a whole another scenario. So you can't even approach the topic of it, but it's just, what do we do with that? Like, how do we, as moms, we just want to fix it. Like, I don't want you to feel that way. He has a whole, stepdad who's here, but, even that doesn't fill that hole of his dad not being. And there's nothing he can do, unfortunately, either to help with that. We can all be there, and he has an amazing village. So he's not suffering in any way. There's not one time he's asked for anything and it was like, well, your dad didn't help with such and such, so I can't do anything. So his grandparents go above and beyond and make sure that he doesn't hurt for anything. They're at his games, they're at his school, they're whatever he wants. They're there for. So he's not missing that part of it, but he's just lost. And I don't want my grandson to experience any of that, because I know my son, he'll get frustrated after a while and he shuts down. So I'm trying to talk to him not to shut down, because she shut down at the moment. But the kids are just like, I just hurt for the kids in the scenarios. You just want them to be happy and healthy and do whatever they want to do in life. And we've created these scenarios where they have adversity before I feel like they should have to have adversity. And it's us, we chose our partners. And, now our kids are suffering a little bit from those decisions we made. And that's a hard pill to swallow too, because you got to be like, I knew some of this stuff beforehand. And that's something, as moms, we don't want to admit that. We don't want to admit that, we knew he wasn't the best dad because they had kids prior to you getting in a relationship with them. Just thought that they would be different with you. And then when they're not, it's like, so I say take my share of the blame in that. But I was torn between that and just, everybody has so much going on in their own lives. So it's like, do we just check in and give everybody a space to be like, I have this going on, and if you guys could pray for me and help me through this, or talk about it, sometimes talking about it, and hearing it, something from a different standpoint helps, because we all have different experiences and you never know what nugget someone else can drop on you. So whatever it is that flows through the conversation, I feel like that's what God's intending for us to talk about for the evening. That was just on my brain. So if you guys can help pray for my sons, because they're going through it from two different aspects. I got one trying to co-parent and one dealing with a non-co-parent. So it's, I get it from both sides. um, of the story. But, you know, and if you have something specific weighing on you, or if you just hopped on because, you know, Jamie said hop on.
I
I
hear a
like the
book in there.
check-in idea since we're, oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Hannah.
No, I was saying I hear a book in there. This is something I don't hear people talk about, like from the perspective of the parent and the perspective of the child, all the sides, especially child focused. So, you know, so as God heals, you know, journaling the journey is always the big thing. And then as God heals, you know, I believe that God can help you to minister that to others. And maybe we need to get more people talking about it because, you know, like I say, I don't hear a lot of conversations about it. But, you know,
Which is
children and
crazy
their
because
needs.
almost everybody now deals with a blended family in some way or another. Like it's so common. You would think a lot more people would be openly speaking about what they're experiencing and trying to figure out ways to not for it not to be so hard. Like it should not be that hard. You know, it's not cookie cutter, so it doesn't, you know, one size doesn't fit all, but the goal for everyone is the same. It's to raise your kid. You want to raise your kid needs both of you. So how do we figure this out to make it work for both of us? Should be the goal or everybody's thought process, but it's usually you left, so you don't want to be here anymore. So that means you don't want to be with your kid. Or, you know, from the dad, so he's like, you're making it difficult, and I don't want to deal with you. So I'm gonna stay away from my kid.
Recording in progress.
So we get
Sorry,
like,
hold on.
we
I'm
uh we get a little selfish in that point where we think about our perspective instead of, you know, the kid, and the kid's hearing everything. They hear everything we're thinking. They're hearing the conversations, the arguments, you know, it's almost like we make them choose sometimes. Like you have to be team mom or team dad. You can't love both of us equally because they'll come home from, I have a cousin. She'd be mad when her son comes home and he talks about all the fun stuff he did at his dad's house. Yeah. And you know, I can be honest and say when my son used to go on vacations with his dad, it would sting a little bit because I wasn't able to do those things. So I would be a little bit like, oh, you know, he got to just take him to Disney first, or you know, something like that. But I would never express it to him. It would be internal about. So just little things like that, we just have to learn how to put our big girls' panties on and deal with it. But I used to think about writing because Lord knows our 20s were book novel worthy. I could be the next sister soldier. I might have to move to Dubai or something afterwards, but
We always said that too. We were like, we need to write a book. But all of the stuff that you were talking about in regards to like, I think the problem is, and what I see, the crazy thing is that even within speaking to a lot of different families and a lot of different moms, and moms meaning bonus moms and bio moms, it's I think it's to the point where everybody's thinking about their own feelings so much that they say they think about the kids, but there's a lot of stuff that gets lost in this, like get lost in the middle, because bio mom is still trying to deal with her unhealed feelings about what happened and how the situation ended and all that stuff. And then the new person is dealing with standing their ground and kind of like, well, I'm
marking the
here and
territory.
this, this is my role, and you know, making sure that they make their mark. And so because of it, it causes a lot of dissension right from the door, but it also doesn't give the wiggle room to say, you know, this is about the kid. Put your ego aside, just like you said, put your big girl panties on, put your ego aside, and like really focus in on these kids, because they're the ones who need all of us to And we don't even have to be friends. We just need to be able to collectively come together, even if it's for 5 minutes, just to exchange the kids. Like, it doesn't need to be where it's this, we have to eat dinner together. It don't have to be all that. Let's just get to the beginning part, the beginning stages where we actually just meet up, do a little 5 minutes, exchange the kids. Can we just for the life of us for these kids, show up and do that? It's 5 minutes. It's not that serious. But because people are in that, like, sometimes not women, but sometimes adults get in their own way with that part of it.
Yeah.
And that's really, really sad. And just like you said, where you were talking about the child coming home and talking about the fun that they had. And I was just I did a podcast interview with a young lady, and I was telling her that I was deep in my feelings of hurt because of how stuff happened. But I never wanted Ajay to feel like he couldn't go over there and have fun. So in spite of the fact that my teeth are clutched as I'm picking him up from downstairs from his father, and he's like, I can see the excitement on his face. He wants to tell me he had a good time, but he's scared and he's trying to protect my feelings. So he's like, I don't know if I should tell her. He's too little to be having to carry all that. Like, that's not his job to worry about my feelings. I should be the one concerned about his feelings. So I remember talking to him and saying, if you had a good time, you can say that. I don't want you to ever feel like you come home and you can't tell mommy that you had fun. And it was like, as soon as I said it, like, he burst, like, I had a good time. We went to the park and we went to an amusement park, and then we went here and we did this and I got this. And I'm like, you can talk about that. And he was like, okay. And once I gave him free reign to do it, he never stopped. Every week he would come back, and teeth clutched each time. I'm like, this dude don't got no money to send for books. But he got money to go to the amusement park. Okay, you look like the fun dad, and I got to look like the stickler, because I'm like, oh, just like you said, I still tried to make it so that he didn't miss out on a lot of stuff. He was in a lot of activities, but there were times when it was a struggle, because I'm paying for after school, I'm paying for the football people, I'm paying for the equipment, I'm paying for all the stuff that you need to purchase. Then when you are a sports mom, I don't know how it is now, but then you would be like, each week is a different parent who have to bring the snacks. So then you got to bring the snacks, and he's not involved in none of this, but he will show up to the game like,
that's my boy.
I'm looking at him like, you better sit down, because you didn't contribute one dime, not even one. I would be so upset, but I never wanted Ajay to feel that tension. And so I would literally suck it up every time. Like, when he would come to the game, I would be like, mommy, I'm going for a walk. I'm walking this way. I'm gonna still watch the game, but I'm walking over here. And she's like, all right, go ahead. And I would take a walk around the lap around the field, still watching the game. But like, I needed to, so that he didn't feel like he had to choose. I never wanted him to feel like he had to choose. And I feel like adults need to learn how to do that and stop making kids feel like they have to choose, because they shouldn't have to.
Not for nothing, like, people make jokes about Nick Cannon and his 50,000 kids. However, and I know a lot of the pictures and stuff they take is just for social media, but the fact that he has his kids that much where he can take pictures and put it on Instagram, like, he don't miss a birthday. They all take holiday pictures. They might be separate families, but like, if you see the videos of the birthday parties, most of the kids are there. Like, they celebrate, the siblings. You don't necessarily see all the moms, but you see the siblings. And
I'm still here. I
like,
can still hear you guys.
okay. I'm just like, as much as people make jokes about the number of children he has, he's present in those kids' lives as much as he can be. Now, I imagine, with the jobs that he has, it's difficult, but he seems to find time for all of them, not just
Right.
like you don't just see him with rock and roll or with the new one. You see all of his kids on his social media. So to me, it's like if someone with 12 kids, I don't know how many he got, I know it's somewhere around there, can find time for that, how does somebody with one or two not be able to figure that out? With all the other stuff he does, he runs, wilding out, he's podcasting, he's doing this, he's doing that. So he's running all of these businesses, and he still finds the time to do the little silly stuff that the moms are asking him to do, the Christmas pictures, the Easter bunny. He's dressing up like an Easter bunny for the little kids. The parties probably cost more than our rent for the whole year. Like all of these things he can find time to do. And then you're looking at somebody with a 25-hour-a-week job telling you, I don't have no time, but I can't. I got to get to work. I got to do this. I got to do that. And you're like, are you serious right now? Like, how do you not have any time for your kids? Like, you gotta figure it out. But I was just like, that just amazed me though. Like, if I ever saw Nick Cannon, I saw him during the blackout in New York, but he had no kids then. But if I ever saw him, I want to be like, you know what? I know you got 1,000 kids, but I appreciate you for being present in their lives. And please keep it up, because they're all small with the exception of, the two oldest ones. But please keep it up, because, they're going to need you later. Like now it's cute, but when they all start being 9 and 10, and then you got all these recitals and football games and stuff to go
Right.
to, like they need you then too. You're going to have to, get that schedule together. But I appreciate him. Chris Brown posted pictures of his daughter's first day of school. He was there. And she's not little anymore. She's, 9 or 10 years old. I think Ludacris was the first one to fight for custody for his daughter. And everybody was like, why is he doing that? He just don't want to pay the child support. I get it to a degree, because it's like, if I can provide this lifestyle for my daughter and you can't, why pay you to do it? Like, she still goes back and forth. So like, if you notice if you follow him on social media, you'll see there's sometimes that she's not there. I don't know her name. But she's the same age as the other one that he has with his wife. They're very close in age.
Oh, okay.
So she goes back and forth between her mom's house and his house, but he has custody of her. So, but when he fought for it, everybody was like, in an uproar. But it gave the other dads the courage to say, you know what? I can spend more time with my kid. I can't ask for custody, because a lot of dads don't even think that's a possibility for them. The first thing that says, oh, the judge always gives the mom the kid. It's not about giving the mom the kid. Like, if you can prove that, I can have my kid half the time and she can have him half the time and they can still have a good life. I think the tides are changing now, where they're saying, okay, like I have one of the girls on the children's school on Kylie's team, her dad and mom split up. They have 50-50 custody. One week the mom has it, next week the dad has it. And I laugh because she says it all the time. She said they split everything down the middle. If mom takes the kids to McDonald's and spends $12.50, dad has to give her $6.25. They don't do child support. They just split everything.
I think that's fair.
Down the middle.
I love that. I love that because it's fair. And that's a situation that I would envy, kind of, because that's always what I wanted with Deshaun. And I would always say to him, you don't ever have to give me money. If you pay half of what he needs help with, then you don't ever have to give me a dime. I don't need your money. I have a job. I've been working for a very long time, sir. So it was just, I wanted him to do his part. And that was so difficult of like internalizing, but it is good to see men stepping up. I have mixed feelings about Nick Cannon. I do feel like, yes, it's great to see him take pictures with his kids. I know Mariah made a comment that like he don't really spend a lot of time with them, but like I do think that it's difficult to be able to share your time with that many children. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. But him and Cam Newton, I don't know what's going on with the two of them, but
he is
lots
huge,
of kids.
I met him in the summer, over the summer.
Cam Newton,
Yes, he is like
tall. Yeah, but the two of them, they feel like because they have the money that I can provide for the children and I will be around, so therefore my kids should be fine. But the reality is that regardless of how you look at it, it's still a home that doesn't have a father inside of it. Like,
yeah.
if you got 12 kids and you in one house, the other 11 don't have a daddy in their house. You can't go to everybody's house, every day. So it still creates those, regardless of whether it looks nice on TV for us, those children are also going to have a story years down the line about what was missing, the pieces that were missing with their dads. Hi, Jeany.
Hey.
How are you? How's the kids? We just
They're
doing like a
doing
check-in right now, and Keita was talking about some blended family stuff, so we kind of started going on a tangent with that. But how's everything with you and the kids?
Everything is okay. We're back to school this week, so just getting back into that routine with life. So, but it's been going good with day 2 so far. So hopefully it'll be a uneventful, blessed, joyful school year.
Yes.
I don't know, co-parenting wise, there's not much of nothing special. He paid my situation is he pays child support and I do everything else in my part financially as well. So, back to school, all of that is on me. Every piece of outfit, every, pencil, crayon, marker, etc. You know, gotta make
Isn't
sure it's
that
done.
crazy? Like,
There's a piece in there that they don't like. They're like, I send child support. Child support is for whatever the child uses every single month, right? And when a birthday come up, guess what? That's not in child support.
Christmas, birthday, back to
Right.
school, like
Yeah. There's always that lack of, like, when back to school start and I got to get all these school supplies, not just for one child, right?
Exactly.
Multiple
For 3.
children. And and I got to buy school clothes, sir.
There's no consideration for, let me send a couple of hundred extra this month.
right.
Like obviously there's going to be more cost. The summertime, they're home. She has to work and they're home at the same time. Let me be considerate and do, and I'm putting them in a place where I have to beg for it. And I'm just in a place where I'm going to mention it, what's happening, but I'm not going to, I'm not going to beg. So there's that.
Okay,
But
this is venting spot.
yeah, it's a lot. And then if I post pictures, it's gonna be like, oh, she posted pictures about you, the kids, and blah blah blah. I think I'm sorry about the background noise. I don't know. I'm in a place now where I'm just like, I'm just doing what I have to do for the kids. I don't feel like going out my way to be like, oh, here's the email of their first day pictures. If you ask for it, I'll send it. But before I would, just do, just do stuff effortlessly. But we're like 7 years in now, and I'm just tired of, I can't make you,
You like,
Yeah.
the
a
stuff
parent.
suddenly.
Yeah, you know what's going on. So if you want to see a picture, you can ask me. If you don't get mad with social media sees it. Like, that's just where I'm at with it. But I don't know. He pays child support, so I guess I'm at his whatever. I forget the term. I'm at his disposal, but whatever. I don't know. But that's
I
where we at.
remember asking Chance's dad one year back to school. I was like, he was wearing uniforms. So I was like, I had to go buy all these uniforms. I said, could you just buy him a pair of shoes? And this petty man took $50 and made a $50 child support payment and made me wait for it to go through the system for the shoes, the $50 for the shoes. And I was just like,
wow, that's horrible.
That's what I had to deal with my 10-year-old. Now he's completely just no contact whatsoever. And they literally closed my case because they haven't been able to find him. Because now he lives in another state, so it's a whole nother division. And I'm like, I don't even want to be bothered. Like I just it's not even worth it to try and pursue and try and find him. Like he's not even contacting his family at this point. So he has no contact with anybody.
Right.
So it's just like, what's the point? But yeah, but I also had a better experience. So my oldest son, he would go with his dad for the summer. When he came home, he would come home with school stuff. He would come home with supplies. He would come home with clothes. He would come home with shoes. And then I would just fill in, little things that he needed. So I say I was spoiled a little bit. So I was spoiled with my oldest son because I didn't have to fight with him about money. We didn't have to fight about money. He had him every single weekend. Matter of fact, that was the fight. Because then when somebody's birthday came up in my family or something, he wanted him. Like, that's my weekend. You can't have him. So we had that type of issue. I guess if you had to, choose
Right.
which issue to have, but I didn't have to fight with him about little stuff like that. I didn't have to remind him school was coming, or birthday or Christmas. Like, he was always, willing to help or, did it on his own. We were
That's a
saying that
blessing.
it's not about, always giving the money. Like, I appreciated shopping because I hated shopping with my oldest son because he had big feet. He was always big and them shoes cost money. So we be in the store fighting, like, I'm not paying $200 for shoes. Meanwhile, his dad done bought the shoes. So I'm like, yes, I don't have to fight with him no more. Woo! So I had it, I got both experiences. And it's just, I just don't get it. Because of that experience, it makes me not understand when other people are like, I can't figure this out. Like, we figured it out for, he's 26 now. When I first started, we were on child support, but that was only because, in New York, if you're on Medicaid, you got to go to child support court. I think he asked me to stop after like a year, and I did. And we never had no issues. We went through increases. If he had an issue, he would call and say, hey, I can't pay this week, I'll pay next week. All of that stuff we did for 18 years with no issue. And then I get to the second one, it is like total opposite. And I'm just like, man, wow.
Yeah, Hannah was saying in the comments, men don't know how much things cost. Like, they don't know.
But they know when it's their stuff though. When they want a new tattoo, a new instrument, when they want to go on vacation, they know how to buy a house. They know how to buy a car. They, like all of that clicks when they need clothes. But suddenly when it's
Right.
for your kids, well, I pay this amount. That set amount is good. That's it. Like, okay, you know what? Hey, because some women don't get nothing. So at the end of the
Right.
day, I'm grateful that part is consistent, and I'm not gonna take them off because I know if I do, it's not gonna be consistent.
Right.
So that part right there, I'll just leave it alone, and thank God that I'm getting what I'm getting. Like some don't even get $20. But at the same time, I would like to know what it's like for somebody to want to actually be a parent. And like you said, take them shopping and actually have them for the whole summer, and the child's actually safe. You don't have to worry about it. Child, I want to know what that's like.
Right.
It was a little lonely some summers.
Yeah.
Especially when I moved down here. So when I first moved down here to Georgia, I think that first summer I cried so bad. I was depressed after summer because I was here by myself, and I didn't even have Trey because Trey was up in New York with his dad. So that first summer was hard. Not having, like, his dad always had him for the summer, but we used to switch. So he would have him during the week and I would take him on the weekend in the summer. But because summer camp was so expensive, he had to leave soon as school started, and he didn't come back until school started. I mean, soon as school ended, and he didn't come back until it started. But that first summer I was miserable. But then after that, I was like, it's time to go. It's summertime.
Right. People, I think sometimes parents, especially moms, we don't understand especially when you are the custodial parent or the sole provider, the child is with you, you don't understand that there is freedom in releasing your kid to the other parent. Sometimes we want to hold on so tight and like, no, my kid can't go with you. They're not used to you. You be fighting real hard. Some of it makes sense because you have an irresponsible co-parent. But if you don't have an irresponsible co-parent, but you still fighting, because sometimes parents do that, girl, let that child go and you go to the beach and kick your feet up. Go catch a movie by yourself. Go take yourself to dinner. Go get a massage. Do something quiet. See, it's quiet. And some people don't like quiet either. So there's also that.
I do
But
struggle with quiet. That's probably why I keep my kids so busy.
yes, I'm sure. The funny thing about men too, especially who have children, it's interesting to see that when they're by themselves or single, they don't show up. They don't want to be involved. The moment they get a girlfriend, somehow that girlfriend done talk them into being a daddy. And they don't, and then there's that lack of understanding of why you're preventing it. It's like, my kid don't know this person. You came along and now he trying to like impress you and act like father of the year, but these kids ain't seen this dude in 3 years, so they don't know him. Like, I don't know why that happens. I don't know why they do that, but that is something I've seen a lot of with men who just don't want to be a father, but the moment they get a girlfriend, oh yeah, now, yeah, I want to get my kids for the weekend. Since when?
Can we speak on that?
Yes, go ahead.
I went through that when he had girlfriends. All of a sudden, these are my kids, and my kid can be my girlfriend. Meanwhile, the kids are met like 5 girlfriends, right? Eventually, he recently got married. I'm like, well, praise God, they don't have to meet nobody no more. Now we just
Right.
one person, right? So in my brain, I'm like, you're a woman, you grown, so that means that, eventually I could talk to you, maybe we try to figure things out. You have that maternal side. You know, there hasn't been any change in behavior with him. And I feel like, like in the past when I've dated men with children, like that's always been a thing that I brought up to them. Like, you're not going to spend more time with me than you do with your children. Like if they're out of state, like, I have to see some kind of action about, like from you, being a father. And if I don't see that, I can't date you, because I don't want that on me. I don't want to be held accountable for I'm taking all your time and all your money and your kid. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want that. So I'm like, I guess I'm disappointed, because I was hoping that with her, I was hoping for something different this year, but I haven't seen a lick of difference. Like, nothing. It's as if she's not even there.
And how long these been married?
Well, she was the friend like last holiday, maybe like around like Thanksgiving, when he saw them. I pulled up, then a car sped in front of me out of nowhere. She popped up like, "Hey, I'm so so." I was like, "Hey." I don't know what you want me to say. 'Cause I think she, you know how people tell stories about you. So I think she was thinking I was gonna be something. So I just looked at her like, "Hey, so are you his friend? You a girlfriend, fiance?" She couldn't even answer the question. I'm his friend. I said, "Okay, well, hi, friend. Here's my kids' bags. Have at it." Then in January, huh?
Hey,
That's what
friend.
happened.
Here,
Hey,
girl, take these
friend, I
bags.
gotta go get my 2 days. That's all I'm getting is 2 days out of y'all. So I'm out. Then January, he emailed me, "Hey, me and so what's up, baby? Are getting married. Oh, she loves the kids like I do. Don't worry about it." That's all I was told. We get married in 2 days. Don't worry about it. And since January, I think it was January, nothing had. But she's been around, like I said, when she popped up on me in November. So I know it's been at least since like last fall, if not off and on prior to that too. But they officially got married. He FaceTime with the kids maybe like once a week, once every other week. He mentioned to them the other day that they were having a child together. So I'm like, even that part ain't kicking, like not as your nesting or whatever you're doing. Nothing in your brain is saying I have other. In my brain, I'm like, girl, you have 3 other kids.
Right.
You the mama too. Like in my brain, I was like, bet I'm gonna have me a summer break. I'm gonna give me a week or something. But nothing has changed. When he FaceTime, she's not in the background, like like trying to buy. I don't hear nothing. They're not sending like just something. Me as a woman, I'll be like, let me send the girls a couple of tutus or something.
Right.
Let me
Right.
buy them a book. School started. Let me send you a hair bow, or what I mean. I
Right.
don't know. Like tell your husband, hey, fly in to go see them. They couldn't come here, but go see your kid. Like I don't know. I'm not trying to put that on her, but I was hoping that there would be a shift in his parenting, because he has a wife now. Like in my brain, I'm like, maybe am I wrong for thinking that's the whole point? I'm sorry, y'all. That's the whole point I want to
Not at
say.
all.
Am I
I
wrong
used
No,
for
to
not
pray
wrong
that
at
the
all.
person he ended up with would help him be a better dad.
Better.
But
Mhm.
then I should have known when I think they dated for like a year before they got married. And she didn't meet my son until like 2 months before their wedding. So in my head, I'm like, how are you dating this man? Y'all live in the same house and you've never met his 3-year-old son. That means he's never had him for the weekend. And you
Some
never,
women are comfortable with that because it allows them, especially if it's a woman without a child, then it allows her to have all of his time.
she had 2 boys.
Oh, so she had her.
Oh,
So then some women are selfish in terms of, I want you to spend your time with me and mine. Like, I don't care that he may have created a false narrative about what happened before, or maybe he didn't create any narrative. And again, she just simply doesn't care about all that. And it's about, as long as it's about her and her kids, then it's all good. Because some people
Yeah,
are like,
I thought that a little bit because they were teenagers. So like, little backstory, when we were together, he had a son, same age as Trayvon, right? And then his son had an older brother who was like 2 years older than him. At one point in time, not only was his son living with us, but his son's older brother was living with us as well. So there's that little tidbit of information. So our agreement was every other weekend, and he's a barber. So he started not picking Chance up. And I'm like, what's going on? Now he's already married at this point. Why are you not picking Chance up this weekend? Oh, I gotta work. But you have a wife. I can't ask her to watch my son on the weekend.
you were like, I had not only your son, but that other lady's son too.
So I can take care of, feed, clothe, and put a roof over your other kid's brother and your son, but you can't ask your wife to watch your son while you're at work on Saturday. Because he didn't
make
work
it
on
make
Sunday.
sense. Make it make sense that you're a wife. That's why I was like, God, am I crazy? That's why he didn't get
You're
them this
not
summer.
crazy.
He was supposed to get them, and then the day that he was supposed to like bring them back, he's like, oh, I can't because I have to work. And same thing, my brain, I was like, but you got a wife. So I'm like, so if you got to work, but you were going to have the kids that day anyway. So anyway, you have a wife. So in my brain, like,
Right.
she couldn't meet me halfway, like. But then you're gonna want me to respect her, when she has a kid. That's my wife. You get it. But then when it comes to this kind of dynamic, she's nothing. But then you want me, you know what I mean? Like, eventually, I know it's going to be that space of, oh, the ex-wife is bitter. I'm bitter. I'm just
Right.
you're just his wife. But right now, you're nothing to me or my children. You're his wife. I have no bad blood. My only concern is you're not a mother. You don't want. Obviously, you're not trying to be a mom to my kids, and I haven't done. I've never said anything about you. We only speak via email. You're not going to find one email where I even acknowledge anything negative, nothing, positive, negative, nothing. So I'm like disappointed, honestly, because I was hoping by now she would have,
Seriously,
be a mother. Like, you
you
a
might
mother.
have to take the reins on that conversation. I don't know.
The
You
sad
mean
thing
to
is that's
him
gonna go
or-
one of two ways. It's gonna get either having a kid is gonna help her do a little
Understand.
better, or it's gonna make her revert, because then it's gonna be all about her kid, and then the kids are
feel
gonna
like she's
start
gonna
saying
revert.
he's not paying no attention to them.
I feel like she's
whatsoever.
going to revert because the
How
kids.
pregnant is she?
He told the kids she was doing a couple of months.
So
like
you
they
need
were
to have that
5.
conversation
Well,
soon. Like,
I don't know because the kids asked to see their room, and then they were like, "What's that?" That's the only reason they know. First of all, and it was like, "I want to see my room," and then they was like, "What's that? Why is there a crib in my room? Where's my bed?" And it was literally, it was like they were like, "Where's my bed? Why is there a crib in my room?" Oh, well, surprise!
right. Changed
Wait,
it.
so the
It's no
beds are
longer there.
completely gone? Where are they?
He was like, so the kids asked the same thing. They were like, "Where is?" Like, baby, the 7-year-old was like, "What? I don't care about your baby. Where's my bed at? Like, that's my bed. Where is it?" And he was like, "Oh, okay." And went down to his garage because once again, they're on FaceTime. I'm in the kitchen, so I could just hear what's happening. And he goes down to wherever, the garage or downstairs. He's like, "Oh, here's your bed." And it's like, "Well, why is it not in my room?" So they lost their. He was like, "Don't worry, this
So
is
it's already happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he already took over like their space. So he did not. I guess because my brain, like, okay, I'm like me when I'm dating right now. that's why it's hard for me to date. Because if you're not a present dad, honestly, I cannot deal with you.
Right.
If you have kids, my brain is like, okay, if I'm with you, we got to get a house with at least like 5 bedrooms or at least a finished
Mhm.
basement. So your kids, even if they only come on the summer, I want them to have a space where they feel like this is their home too. Like that's how my brain works.
Right.
So I don't. What I'm seeing, is it? I don't know if it's an age thing. She might be a little bit. I don't think she's that much younger, but I've maybe she is because it's her first kid. Maybe she's in her 30s, mid 30s. I'm not sure if that's what the disconnect is. But the way it's going right now, I feel like she's going to cling more to, well, this is my family and those are his kids, because that's what it's giving right now. I'm sorry, y'all. Thank you for letting me vent.
Oh, that's what we're here for.
Yes.
That sucks because the kids are gonna start. The kids will resent the baby before the baby even gets here.
Yep.
They didn't have a reaction. Like, they truly didn't care. I tried to ask afterwards, like, hey, so how do you feel about it? And they were like, I'm fine. Like, there wasn't
Well,
much.
now that baby taking their room, they gonna care.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what's going
that's
on.
when it'll really hit. Like when they go visit and see what life is like now.
Yeah. I invited I tried to encourage them to come out here to see them. Since they weren't able to go for the summer, he didn't respond to that. I don't know. I don't know. Pray for me, y'all. That's all we hear, right? I definitely appreciate the prayers because I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if he's gonna abandon these kids and focus on this. I don't know what's. I mean, I low key wouldn't mind if he did, but I know that's kind of selfish of me to think that way. It's like I wish you would just either you're all in or you're just not here. This in between, it's an inconsistent whatever. It's kind of hard to navigate.
It is hard, but like the flip side that before you came on, I was talking about my 14-year-old. So parenting is easier for him, for me, because I don't have to deal with his dad, but for him it's harder because he has no communication with him. He used to text him and he wouldn't text back. So now he doesn't even attempt to text at all. So while for me, I just move through life, I do what I got to do and I keep it moving. For him, it's like, no matter what we do, his dad's not around. He ain't
Right.
here.
He has a
So,
lot of people there too.
yeah. And he's very involved with his dad's family. So it's not like, he's missing out on that side of the family. It's more like a reminder a little bit that his dad's not around because he had such a close connection with his grandpa and his grandma and his auntie and everybody. So it's hard both ways.
Yeah, I can see that. Wow.
It makes me think about a question that my husband was talking about with his best friend. He was saying one of them, my husband's father was around, but not to say sporadically, but like he was there for a lot of years of their life and then he wasn't, and he would be very inconsistent. But my husband's best friend's father was never around. And so they go back and forth about
Which one's better?
right, which one is better? Is it best to not have him there at all and know nothing about him, therefore you have nothing to miss? Or is it worse to have him there and know what you're missing? Like what's the worst situation? I'm like, I don't know that either is more worse than the other, because for a kid, it's a kid. The kid is missing a lot of stuff when that parent is not around. Whether you're not around because you've never been around, or you're not around because you were, and now, for that child is traumatic. I have my dad and now he's not around. For this kid is, I wish I knew my dad. And I've never seen the guy, I never laid eyes on him before. How does that help me navigate who I am as an individual growing up? I can't figure it out because I don't know anything about him. Whereas this side is like, I know something about him, but I don't know much, and he's not around to help me grow into manhood or womanhood or whatever. So I don't know if one is worse than the other, but they're both pretty traumatic. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad we have this venting session.
Get the pitchforks. Let's burn them all.
Oh my goodness.
I do appreciate you for being the mom in a dating scenario that's like if you ain't doing what you're supposed to do for your kids, I can't be with you. Cause it's a lot of women who would be like, them ain't my kids. I don't care
Right.
about the kids, or you know what I'm saying? They would encourage them to continue to not be around, or make it so that it seems like they're having to choose between you and their kids. So
Right.
I definitely appreciate the maturity it takes to say, you know what, if you ain't, we either gonna do it for all of them. You know, I'm not just gonna look out for my kids. If we supposed to be together, it's supposed to be my kids, your kids, they our kids now. Like all of them is ours. They ain't all here at the same time, but when they all here, they all here. And if everybody, imagine that, if everybody took that stance point, it would be like, huh.
Right. That's
Literally.
why I said I think that I think with that maturity that she has in terms of like just being able to navigate that space in that way, I do think it for like hoping and wishing her child's father is going to have that conversation with his wife is just not going to happen. He's not going to initiate that conversation. He's going to avoid it at all costs because it's going to open up probably some truths that he didn't tell her. That's why I'm encouraging Jeany to try to figure out a way to navigate having a conversation with her, because I think that if she gets to it before she has that baby, then it will help navigate stuff a lot easier. Like, I need to know that, like, what's y'all plan once you have your baby? Like, what, you know, what's going to happen with the kids? Are you guys still gonna have the kids every summer or every other week or every other month, however they have them? Is it still going to remain the same? Is it going to change? Are you going to, because when women start working together, there's a powerful thing that starts to happen. Like, if you and I are both women, we are both mothers now. I could say to you, listen, I really want the kids to come over, but I just had the baby and I'm really stressed out trying to navigate and figure out this whole motherhood thing. Can you give me a few weeks? If y'all were able to have that kind of a relationship, y'all would be such a great help to each other. You'd be like, girl, listen, come get these kids because they driving me crazy. And then she would be able to do the same thing. But when you don't have any type of a conversation or a relationship, it makes it so hard. When my son's father was in the middle of our communication, I did not like this girl and she did not like me. And my reasoning was like, I felt like she just kept overstepping boundaries and she felt like I kept trying to tell them what to do in their house. I'm like, my son is over there. This was happening. He does not do that here. He ain't doing it over there. Like, I was like, we had already had all of this stuff, this conversation going. And she was like, oh, he never told me that. So then when me and her finally start talking, then she's like, oh, now I see why you said so and so and so. Now I see why you feel this way about that thing. And I'm like, yeah, and now I see too, because you were under false, you had a lot of false information. And so therefore you thought, here I am coming out of nowhere with all this stuff when you didn't know we already had it planned out. Like, he called, we spoke, he said he's sending it. And then Friday comes and he ain't sending it. And she's like, I never knew that was happening. Now we know. Just call me or I'll just call you. And that, let me tell you how much stress that eliminated. I was like, our son needs sneakers. And he was like, oh, all right. 2 days go by. You know what? Let me call her. Girl, the boy needs sneakers. And she's like, oh, he didn't even mention it. That's your husband. Why has he not mentioned it? And it's been days. And that's how you know, like, that's why I needed to have that type of communication with her, because talking to him was just like, I was just talking just to hear myself. But when we finally were able to have a conversation, for a while, we just kept it at like the necessities. We were able to accomplish so much more. I was like, is he coming this weekend or not? She was like, well, dad is working, but I know it's his weekend. It's up to you. Do you still want him to come? I'm like, absolutely, because he's looking forward to coming. So he would still go. Now, as an adult, when he looks back at it, he's like, my dad was hardly ever around. Listen, but I still sent you. I still sent you.
Like, can't put that on me.
Right. Right. I didn't say no. I said you can
Right.
still go.
I did my
And
part.
right. And now he's able to like verbalize that. He can say, he's like, there were so many things now that I'm looking back and I see, you know, how dad was and how did you put up with that? Because I can't even put up with him now. And I'm an adult. I'm like, listen, you got to forge your own relationship with your dad. The one me and him have is ours. It's unique. It's different. You got to figure out how you're going to deal with that man on your own. And so as long as I don't put my stuff on him, still, even as an adult, I still don't put my stuff on him. He might ask every now and then, and I'm like, you want honesty?
Right.
I'll be honest, you know, but I just don't, I try not to, like, I would never dog his dad in a conversation, but I think Jeany try to find a way to talk to that girl so that y'all can, I think once
struggling
the
with
two
that
of you
part.
start talking, it's going to flow so much easier.
I'm struggling with that part because my brain is trying to figure out how you got this far to marry him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think she's that much of an innocent party. You
Right.
see him. You guys are traveling together. So if he's able to travel with you and do things, why isn't your brain saying, because we out of state, why isn't your brain questioning why he can't take a weekend to go see his kids? I feel like that's the part, you know what I mean? And honestly, like one time the kids, they had to call from my phone or whatever. She answered, and once again, they're young, so it's always on speaker, whatever. And she was talking to her mother in the background. I promise you, I'm not eavesdropping. I just this on FaceTime is loud. I can hear things I don't want to hear. I try to leave the room. They follow me. I hear it, and I can hear her mother in the background. She said, you know, I heard her mom say, "Love on those kids, okay?" She said, love on those kids. Take care of those kids, okay? And I heard her tell her verbatim, love on those kids. Take care of those kids, okay? So I feel like once I heard that part, I'm like, somebody's telling you to be a mom and you still not doing it. It's hard for me to have sympathy for you. You know what you're doing. I feel like you're intentionally comfortable with just being your little family. And they just come when they come. So it's almost like a safeguard to not reach out to her. Because I feel like if I do reach out to her and I try and it's still the same dynamic, after that, I don't think I have anything left in me. If that make any sense, like, I don't think I'll be able to really bend too much again if it's still going to be the same exact. Because it's not much. We're out of state. So you'll probably see these kids once or twice a year. If you know what I mean? If that.
Well, I think that's also more of a reason why you should just go ahead and do it. Because what's the worst that she's going to say is like, no, I'm not going to do that. She definitely won't say that. She'll probably be like, oh, well, he said so and so and so, because I feel more like that's the realm that she's in, is like the he said, he told me this, or he, you know, he probably is telling her that she don't want
I'm
them
back.
to come. Yeah, she don't want them to come here, you know. So I think that forging a little tiny, oh, that's a good one. Write an email or a letter.
Oh, I don't
Forge
have any contact stuff for her. And I only speak to their dad via email.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know nothing about her except for that one time she popped up on me. It was like, hey, I don't know nothing. No
Dang.
contact information
And
about her.
he probably wouldn't just put her on the phone if you were to call.
I mean, the
Because
most I
he
could do is say, hey, you know, tell your wife to email or call me and then see what he says. I mean, he probably will do it if I tell him just, hey, tell her
You
to call
think
me.
so? Would he?
I mean, it's a possibility, but well, depending on what he's been telling her. If he has been
Right.
lying to her, then he probably wouldn't do it.
Yeah, she's not gonna want you to
The
reveal
most I could do is unblock him on so that he could be nosy and show her my page. Because in the past, he's done it with other girlfriends who found me. Like, how you
Right.
find me, girlfriend? Why are you calling me? Oh, because he showed me your IG page. And now you're DM. Oh, long stories, child, nightmares. That's the most I could do was unblock him so that he could feel tempted to go show her my page and be like, look, she posted the kids. She didn't send me no picture. And maybe then she'll slide in my DM. I don't know. But the only thing I could do is try to Google her new last name if she changed her name, or just ask him to tell her to call me. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't have.
I'm about to be your friend. Tell me her name. I'm just kidding. I'll find her for you.
I don't know. I don't know her maiden name, so if she changed it to his last name, that's the only thing I would have. I don't know nothing about her. All he told
Listen,
me was,
send
hey, get married in 2
it to
days.
Keita privately. Send it to Keita privately.
Gotcha.
That's Miss Investigator over there. She'll be like, ah.
Down there.
I mean, I have his address, so that's her address now too, I guess. So I probably would find her. I don't know, child.
But yeah, I think I would, when the kids call again, I would be like, ask for your what do they call her?
When they do mention it, Melinda,
I
Oh,
just
okay.
know about her name.
they don't know much about her. It's just like, oh, that's daddy's girlfriend. It's like, no, that's daddy's wife. When he was like, oh, she's having a baby, and she was like, oh, okay, like, they were like, okay, yes, whatever. He was like, yeah, like he had to connect that, that's your little brother now. Like they're
Right.
not connected. Like there's not a connection there. They
Right.
probably see her as a babysitter, or daddy's friend. It's not because they're not around them enough to really, see what's going on. God is able. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Because by himself,
isn't
he's
that
not doing
crazy
the
how
kids,
no matter
so.
what situations we go through, we always still hold up that smidget of hope.
Yeah,
Like,
that's why it's
you're supposed to
funny
have
when they
faith
think
of a
of us like
mustard seed.
bitter.
We hold on to that mustard seed of faith when it comes to dealing with these dads.
Yep. Mhm.
That they're going to turn it around and do what they got to do for their kids. And I
Yes,
always
Lord.
find that funny that we hold on. We hold on. Like, I'm still like, as angry as Chance is, I'm like, he's gonna pop up one of these days. I know we're gonna have to have security in between him and Chance the first meet, but he gonna pop up one of these days and they gonna have a conversation. And I'm hoping that when he does pop up, after Chance is able to express himself, which I know is not gonna be received well by his dad, because he's just not the type of person to hear that he's not doing what he's supposed to do. But after he's expressed that anger, I'm hoping they can get past that. But I feel like the longer they go without having any contact, the harder it's going to be for him to ever be able to get into Chance's space where Chance is like, okay, I forgive you. Because right now it's like, you can't even say his dad's name. Like, don't even bring him up at all. Or he's going off.
Mm.
But we still hold on. We still hold on to that.
Yeah, the smidgen of faith. That smidgen of hope, I'll say. The hope of like. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try though. I'm gonna try, y'all.
Your
And I'm
kids are
not-
young, so we all gonna pray that, it's hard out of state.
Yeah.
My son was 7 when I moved down here, so it does make it harder. And even though his dad like financially took care of him, he went every summer, and if they had like any long break, he would get them. So like he'd go for Christmas, Thanksgiving. We would alternate Christmas and Thanksgiving, spring break, that type of stuff. He would come up, but my son still felt like he never came down to go to any of his football games or baseball
Yeah.
games or basketball games or anything like that. And then later on found out that his dad was traveling. Actually came down here a few times. And so that caused a little bit of a rift with them, but it's definitely, it's harder when you're in another state. And I always took the blame for it because I was the one who decided to move. So I was always like, well, it was my decision before I left. Your dad had you all the time, so I didn't fault him for it. But I did also feel like he didn't really make that extra effort because it wasn't like it was not financially. He didn't have a financial reason not to come. I don't know what he came one time for his 5th grade graduation. And that was it. Like, I feel like his wife stopped him a little bit from coming down because she wasn't comfortable. Like, I was in my 20s when all of this went down. So I can't say I was the nicest person to her back then. But I felt like she kind of prevented him from spending more time with him down here, opposed to just only the time spent up there. And she was never mean to Trayvon. He loves her family. They always made sure he was there when they went on vacation, all that good stuff. But there was just something missing for Trey where he just felt like he didn't go that extra mile to be present even after we moved down here. So, even with all the other stuff he was doing, there was still that one thing that was missing. So you don't never have to I said I say you don't never really have to explain to your kids what's going on. They'll get older and see for themselves and make their own decision or have their own feelings about how they feel about their parent. And for me, I would just listen, you know, even with Chance, like I still try to be like, oh, well, I still try to make his dad look as not as bad as in my head. I want to say, but then, his own parents are telling him, he hears his parents talk about his grandparents talk about, their sons. So, and they don't hold them in the highest regard because of this situation. So it's kind of hard with everybody, but the long distance is hard, but it's also like, because they're small, they have short-term memories. So it's a little bit easier for them to forget and to not hold on to the fact that they don't see him that often or the fact that he's about to have another baby. So they're kind of still young enough where it's just like, okay, whatever. But seeing it, that would be hard,
How old are they, Jeany?
They're 11, 9, and 7.
Oh,
And
so getting there.
when I did live in the same state, he wasn't seeing them regularly. It was
Right.
like I was barely getting 3 hours every other Tuesday. So that's the reason why I didn't feel guilty about moving 8 hours away. Because I'm like, if you only giving me a couple hours every other Saturday to go quickly do laundry, so I may as well add that all up into like a weekend, or a week visit, because that's not helping me much or whatever.
Right.
And so he didn't fight me about leaving because he knew he wasn't, like you weren't that involved that it made a difference for me to leave because you weren't walking, you weren't doing the school drop off, pick up, doctor appointments.
Right.
You weren't doing none of that. So, I don't feel any guilt in regards to that. If anything, I felt like that just left him off the hook a little bit more, where he could have easily just said, okay, I'll fly in for the weekend and see them and then go back to my world. You can't even do that. I don't know, but my kids are praying for me to have a husband. So I think, and like they literally all the time, Mommy, what? Can I see
That
what
is so funny.
I want to wear
When
this
they
kind
get
of
to that
dress.
point, girl, they be relentless.
They've been
Good
there for the
luck.
past year. They've been praying to God, please send Mommy a husband. And I'm
That's
like,
also
"Dad,
good because they'll
that's right."
welcome the right person into their lives.
Yeah, they haven't met
They're
anybody
open
yet.
to it because it's hard when they're not open to
Mhm.
having someone step into that role. Because Chance at first was like, "You ain't my dad." Like he didn't like the word stepdad, bonus dad. Like he wasn't trying to hear none of that at all. And they're getting to a better space now, but it took a long time for him to accept having another male
Around.
father figure in his life. So if your kids are asking for it, that's
Oh,
a
they
blessing
ask.
in itself.
They praying, child. I think that'll be the thing that finally triggers their dad to be like,
It
I'm
is.
coming.
As soon as he see another
Uh-huh.
man doing all
I'm
this
coming
stuff
to
with his
fly in
kids,
for
he's
this
gonna be
title.
mad.
Because I
That's
already know my
exactly
kids
what
gonna be
I'm
like,
doing.
hey, Pop, this is my Pop.
Mhm.
I already know what they're gonna do. Like I already envision it. They haven't met any man. I haven't brought nobody around them because I just don't know. I don't know how to navigate that. And I don't know if it's really a good thing or a bad thing either. But that could be a different topic for a different day. But they ready. They be praying like bottoms. I gotta walk by the room. God, please send Mommy a husband and this and that. I was like,
Hmm.
oh my gosh, I gotta figure out something. Like they ready. They
It's
ready.
hard because when you date, you don't want to bring a lot of people around your kids. But then at the same time, you have to make sure that it's a fit.
Right.
So eventually, once you feel comfortable enough to bring them around, like you have to bring them around because you need to know how he's going to be with your kids. You need to know how the kids are going to be with him. And you can't do that if they don't interact with each other. Because I can tell you all day, I'm going to be a good step mom. I'm going to bake cookies and such and such. And then when you get farther enough in your relationship and they don't mesh, then it's like, what do you do? Like, now you deep in this relationship, fell in love, you've been talking about getting
Right.
married, and
Your kids don't like them.
yeah. So I think Steve Harvey put that in his book where you're not supposed to bring the person around your kids, but I think after a while you kind of have to because you got to make sure it's a good fit. So definitely don't want them to know 50,000 different uncles, but
Yeah. Exactly. I already
Like,
know,
oh,
like
that's
that,
just
like
up
that's
now.
gonna be the. Mhm. I
But
already know that's
you
gonna
gotta
be.
make, you gotta
What you
make sure
mean?
that person
I love
exactly who
that.
they said they was.
I think as
Yeah.
long as the person whoever is coming in, whether it's a bonus mom or a bonus dad,
Mm.
like I think Chance would have been more receptive to it if you come in not trying to be stepdad or bonus dad or none of that. Just show up and let me see who you are. And
Mm.
then as we navigate growing a relationship, then I'll probably want you to be my bonus dad or stepdad. But it will definitely take some time. Like they're not, kids don't want you coming in automatically trying to be authoritative. They're like,
Yeah, that was definitely the scenario. So
oh yeah, see? Yeah, so there's where you went wrong. That's why Chance was like, no to stepdad, no to bonus dad, no to any variation of dad, point blank, period. But if he came in like, just chill, like, I'm just trying to get to know you and, just as himself, then Chance would have been more receptive to it a little later down the line. Just show up. Don't try to be my dad. Don't try to be authoritative. Don't try to put me in my place. Don't try, just be there. Any support you give to mom on the side. Like you should speak to him about that behavior so that he starts to see that you're doing it. And then when he finally does come in and starts putting his foot down, it's not new to him. It's not like, where all this came from. My mom was never this strict. My mom never made me do dishes, and now here you are. And so therefore, when that kind of stuff happens, kids dislike the person because it's like, I didn't have chores before you got here. There was no rules. I kind of did what I wanted to do. And now here you come, putting your foot down and creating rules and boundaries. And, that kids don't want that. So I implore people to go in, just be yourself for a little while, get to know the kids, learn to mesh first, and then lay the laws down.
Yep, that lesson's about 12 years too late, but
Listen, Jeany said I'm taking notes. Tell him come in nice and easy.
yes, definitely.
Orlando came in too easy. He was acting like they friend. I was like, sir, listen, there's got to be a healthy balance, okay? You are the grown-up. They're the kids. Y'all can have fun and giggle and laugh, but there's got to be a line, like still. And so when him and Ajay finally found that, I swear the two of them acted like two big, I don't know, grown and little friend, like all the time together, all the time. And it was just so funny because of the relationship that they started to build. But I was like, you got to draw the line. Ajay, at a point, it seemed like Ajay thought that was his friend. Let's go to the park. Let's go play baseball. And I'm like, you have homework, number one, and he has stuff to do, number two. But you know what? Go ahead. Live y'all lives. But at so-and-so o'clock, it was a lot. So there needs to be a balance. Don't be like that all the way on the other side, acting like the kids. But there needs to be that healthy balance. Although he did come in and mesh well and the kids liked him and everything went fine.
Trey liked him.
See, Trey was already used to like having boundaries and stuff.
Yeah. Chance was that was my wild child.
Yeah, the growing up, Trey had boundaries and rules, and stuff got taken away, and there was consequences for your actions. And Chance came along and was like, I'm the man, what's up? I'm gonna do what I want. And Keita just went along with it. And then here came a man trying to rein it in And he like, who are you and why are you here? Because we were doing this without you before you got here and it was going fine. And now you're here messing up what I've been doing. I don't know what's going on.
But you know, with Chance, it was the preemie scenario. So, you know, him being a preemie and everything we went through with the NICU, it was kind of just like whatever he want. You can have it, buddy. Like, and everybody in the family was like that. Everybody was like, whatever Chance wants, Chance can have. So by the time he was 2, he was spoiled rotten. He was spoiled rotten. And then, you know, at 2, now it's not so cute no more. Now it's we created a monster. Like, he'd wake up like an infant for chocolate milk and be screaming at the top of his head, I want you. Like, or he'd be running somewhere. Like, he was rambunctious, and it took a little while to bring him back in. So, you know, my husband's from down south, so he was a lot, like, very rigid is the word I want to use. So, you know, coming across a Chance was like,
whose kid is this? He needs some discipline and some rules.
They need a switch.
I always think about when Orlando met Chance and we went to breakfast and he was like, you remember when Chance went to breakfast and was like, can I get a coffee?
Because his grandma was
just like a grown up, and he didn't smirk. It wasn't like, you know, it wasn't like out of the ordinary. It was almost like he went to this place and ordered coffee every day. He was like, can I get a coffee? We were like, no, you're not getting a coffee.
Meanwhile, he can go to grandma's house and get coffee. So, you know, and some things don't change because now it's, can I drive? And I'm like, no, you don't have your permit. You're not 15 yet. 6 months, but grandpa's already let him drive his truck.
I was gonna say Keta, down south is just a little bit different. Like,
I'm not from
we
down
had
south.
roads, and so we would right, Hannah. Did your parent would let you get in a car and just kind of go back and forth a little bit, not on the main road, but like, you know, on the side roads. Where
we don't have no side roads over here.
Y'all
no side roads where I live.
You know the neighborhood where y'all houses are. Just stay in that.
The people in my neighborhood got like 6 people with cars in every house. Like, it looked like a New York street, but it's a cul-de-sac.
Oh, so he has too many cars to hit. That's what your point is.
No.
You're like, nah, you're not driving nothing around here.
Arrogant. So I
parking
told him
lot
he has to
driving.
pass his permit. I need to know that you read some stuff and got a mental comprehension of what you about to be trying to do before I let you behind the wheel of my car. Because see, grandpa, you crashed his car, he got enough money to go get another one. You crashed my car, I'm be like, oh, I ain't got no car. No. And see, grandpa's in the truck, you know, you gonna do more damage to whatever you hit than you are grandpa's truck. Now, while I have an SUV, again, I don't have money for a new car. So no, 15, I'm gonna need you to pass your permit. Then I will let you drive. I taught Trayvon how to drive, no problem. But he waited until he was 15, got his permit, and then I let him drive. He gonna wait 6 months. Because if I let him drive early, then everything else you're supposed to do at a certain age, he gonna be like, but you let me do this before I turned that age. But you let me do that.
Most certainly will.
He already asked for matching tattoos. No, we're not starting. I'm not starting the early trend. He gonna wait until he turns 15. Otherwise, I'm be walking around here with a Chance tattoo on my arm and all types of other stuff. I can't.
Listen, we all have that one child.
Yes, because Kylie is quiet. She sits in her room all day and she don't bother nobody.
I have the one.
I think she's asleep right now. Otherwise, he would have been on here talking about, hey, y'all, hi. All up in the room. But yeah.
Jeany, you have that one child too?
My youngest, she's definitely that child.
Hannah, what about you?
Definitely that child.
Hannah,
you do?
You got a chance, Hannah?
I got all age groups from 25 down to like 11.
Okay.
Do you have one that's more out there, that like more outspoken than the rest? The one who will challenge you more than the rest?
The one that's trying to raise me? Yep.
Yes.
He He be tracking me. He be like, why you over here? Why are you on Life 360 looking at where I'm at? We got this for you, not me. You went to grandpa's house without me. Why are you tracking me, sir? Get off my phone.
That's funny that for Jeany is the youngest one. For most of the time, it's that middle one. They just be real testy.
Well, she's testy, my middle one. She's testy, but because my oldest has special needs, I think she's like in between playing like the oldest.
Got it.
She
Yeah,
has
that
it.
makes sense.
Gonna need me to be a millionaire. Like the way she moves, like God, I'm like God, and I'm like I have to marry somebody wealthy, and I have to be wealthy because the way that she just, I see where she want to go with it. But the little one, I could tell she's a little bit more like rules. What rules? She's not bad,
Right.
but sometimes
Rules
it's like
need to be broken, as
you
what I
know,
was told the
yeah.
other day.
Yeah, they're all like lawyers. They want to negotiate the rules and stuff.
Yes, Lord.
Yep. There you go.
Yes, Lord.
There-
Listen,
I
that
know I was in
old
trouble when he was debating with his football coach.
huh?
Coach told him he couldn't wear visors, right? So he's like, but coach, I was online and I saw the ninth grade players last year wearing visors. So why we can't wear visors? And I'm like, oh my God. He said no, like no means no, right? No, not for chance. That coach went back, talked to the head coach of the whole football program, and then sent the email out later telling us that they could wear visors.
Listen, he advocated for everyone.
No,
Listen,
he
might be a
advocated for
lawyer.
himself. He don't care if nobody else got a visor on.
Well, now everyone can wear visors.
No, now I have to go spend $80 on a visor because I told him the coach said no, so he couldn't have one.
See the positive.
Yes.
See the
Right.
positive.
Right.
I said you gotta have a clear one. So what's the point of even wearing it? Why do you, it still blocks the sun, Mom. It's just clear. And I'm
Lord, it's them second ones, the middle ones. Yep.
Yeah,
okay.
second oldest.
The lawyer. Yes. I feel like I got my lawyer with my oldest son, who is the second one. He was definitely the one that would ask more questions and like, but why? And you had to make it make sense for him. Otherwise, he's gonna keep asking. And then came the other middle son. And that is a challenge within itself. Okay. I'm like, Lord Jesus, I don't know what was happening here. But this one is like everything for him is logical. Like everything literal. He takes it literally. If you say something, I can't use my down south stuff. Nope, because he takes it literally. I'm like, listen, we're not going to the store. Money don't grow on trees. Mom, it literally does.
yes.
And I'm like, it literally does. And I'm looking at him like, wanting to strangle, but there's so many things that it's like there's things that he knows in his head already. So telling him something else is like foreign, like, well, why? I don't understand. My mom was telling him the importance of saying yes. That I said down south, we used to say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. Here in in New York or in the North, they don't say ma'am, right? It's just yes or no. And I said, and here you come with yeah. Sir, fix it. When you're speaking to an adult, you say yes or no. He's like, but yeah, yes, they don't mean the same thing. They mean the same thing, so I don't understand. I said, when you're speaking, I'm gonna reiterate this, sir. When you're speaking to an adult, you say yes and no. When you speaking to your friends, I don't care what you say. You can no, you whatever you want with your friends. But when you're speaking to a teacher, your parents, your grandparents, any older people, you say yes and you say no. Since you don't want to say ma'am, it's yes and no. That's it. All right, Mom. But it's always some like challenge. Before we get to
just why can't you?
yeah.
Why?
Yep. You got to pray and counsel yourself and pat yourself on the back and see all of that. all of the positive self-talk and all that
Yes.
before you deal with them and after you deal with them, and
And
pray while you're
after.
talking to them.
Listen, I put myself in the timeout. Let me walk away for a second, and I'm gonna come back because I'm about to hook you up. So let me walk away.
Right. Facts.
My favorite
Hello.
line is, but you told me to always tell the truth.
Yeah, well, they're true. That's another thing. They're very, very truthful. And I think it's a generational thing. I think it's this particular generation that they don't, yes, we want you to be honest, but they don't have like what old
Empathy?
people, what in the South we would say as coof. Like they don't got no coof at all, at all, at all. They don't know, like, yes, tell the
Filters.
truth, right? But there's a way
They are
that you tell
brutally
the truth.
honest.
They're just honest. They're just like, yeah, no.
He's like, so you want me to
Straight up.
lie? And I'm like, no,
Right.
Chief, but you can't say, but you want me
Right.
to lie. No, I'm not saying lie, but you cannot
Say it like
you just
that.
can't say that.
They don't
Yeah,
have a.
I don't want them to think it's just me. He said, "Oh, you just want pretty words." I said, "No, it's not like that. It's just," I said, "you can say almost anything to almost anyone if you say it in the right way."
Right.
Right.
That's
His
true.
way is as long as it's the truth. The other day we were talking about something, and he said it in a jokingly way, but he was like, "Nah, Mom, you're an idiot." And I'm like, "Boy, did you just- oh, oh, hell." I was like, "You ever like you cannot call an adult an idiot, even if you're joking?" And he's looking at me like, "But why?"
But you know I was just playing, right? Like,
Right.
you know
And
that I
I was like,
didn't.
"Oh my gosh!" Like, or he'll talk about white people, or and his voice is deep, so it carries. Like he don't know how to whisper. He don't have no inside voice. It's just, Ma, we went to he had a birthday party. It's a quinceañera. So, right? Spanish people, right? Ma, you not gonna walk me in? Why I gotta walk you in? It's your friend's birthday party. But what if there's no black people in there? It's a quinceañera. Like, came home, he was like, Ma, they thought I was Spanish. I was dancing, and they gave us that stuff you give us at church on the first. It's the great.
Oh, communion. All the kids got communion at the
No,
quinceañera.
they had sparkling grape juice. No, it comes.
Oh, I'm like, they had communion at the thing?
But it for him it tasted the same. But he was so
Right.
hyped when he came home. But when I dropped him off, he was like, "You really not coming in? Like you ain't coming in? I don't know these people, Chance. These are your friends you go to school with. Why do you need me to come in with you?" He was like, "But what if there's no black?" And I'm just like, "Oh my God." But he would have said that, like, even if we were standing outside, he would have said it,
Next to people.
regardless
next
of
to-
who was in
Right.
earshot. And I keep trying to tell, like, you cannot say that stuff. He's just like, well, why? After the games, if there's a player who looks like he's 50, he's like, Mom, he had a beard. He's not since I'm like, shut up. Like, you have no idea whose parent is standing. You about to get, we gonna be out here fighting because can you get to the car first? Like, get in the car and you can vent and say whatever it is you need to say. No. But he had a beard. I'm like, oh my God. And I know how that feels because, Trayvon was tall. So he used to play basketball.
Right.
People would be like, he's not 8. Yes, he is. Like, why would I put him in an age group that he didn't belong in? And he's 2 feet taller than all the other kids. You think I want y'all to talk about my baby like he's playing basketball?
Right.
He has to play in his age group. So I get it. And I'm just like, oh, but Chance has no filter. None whatsoever. None.
Mhm.
But
That's so funny.
you gotta love him. Love to kill him, but you gotta love him. I
Our
kill chips in my
babies.
head like once a week.
Our babies.
So
That
I know
was
we
a
talked
good
about a lot.
conversation.
Yes, and it's really cool, this space, because it's a safe space to say whatever it is you need to say and vent about whatever it is you need to vent about, and know that you're not in it alone and you're not the only person who experienced it.
Right.
So I appreciate you, Jeany, still for continuing to provide this safe space for all of us to come and talk about whatever it is that's on our hearts at that particular moment. So keep up the good work.
Thank you much. I appreciate it. only God, because if it were me, I'd be like, girl, I'm watching TV. I'm trying to watch this show. I be binge watching shows and movies and Basketball Wives and trying to stay up with all these co-parenting people. I be writing stuff, notes down. Now when I'm watching TV, it's so weird, funny but weird, that I'm like, ooh, they co-parenting. Let me write some of this stuff down that they be doing. And it's very, very the world we live in. That's all I say. I don't know with everybody. Get out of our own way so these kids can thrive.
Amen that. Look, Jeany, you got to find me on Facebook because I think me and Hannah's already friends on Facebook. So, you know, we like to make new friends.
Let me see.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go on now. If I don't do it now, I'm gonna forget. Because I'm like, who is
In the water that we're drinking, because a lot of moms are saying, and I never remember like a lot of moms saying this before, like older than me, but I also used to have like a really good memory. And now I can't remember anything. Like if I think it at night, I have to get up and put it on my phone, like type a little note. So I remember. Otherwise, it's a wrap. Like I'll be like, what was I supposed to? I know that I said that I needed to do something, but I can't remember what it is. And then 3 days later, I'm like, I was supposed to call the UPS. Like it's too late. So I don't know. Is it in our water? Because a lot of us moms have been in the forgetful stage, and we are like in our 30s and 40s, and I don't know what's happening.
I personally just think it's like information overload. Like you have so many things that you're trying to remember that it's just your brain can't handle it. Like we just have too much. So I have now, I never used to have a calendar. Like I have to write everything down now. If I don't write it down, I am not going to remember. Like, y'all don't laugh at me. This is my Saturday. Can you see? Let me see. You see all these games?
Yeah.
Every Saturday. That's my Saturday. But I have to have it like right here where I can see like, okay, I gotta be here. Okay, blah, blah, blah. I can go about my day. I have to write it down. I can't not write stuff down anymore. Otherwise, I don't
You
know.
lose. I don't know why. I've been praying for God to bring back my memory. I'm like, God, what do you want me to do? I need my memory back. What happened to the days when I could remember what happened in 7th grade on September 4th? Now I can't even remember what happened 5 minutes ago.
Listen, I blame pregnancy. After baby number 3, it was done. I used to remember everything, socials, my friends' appointments for no reason. Like, hey, friend,
For
they used
real.
to go to the dentist. Oh, girl, thank you. I forgot about that. Like, I knew everything. Now I barely do my own social some days, man.
They used to call it pregnancy brain. I think it just never left.
It didn't leave. My youngest is 7 years old. I can't walk from my room to the laundry room. Like, why did I come in here? I came in here for something. I be praying, like, God, I'm not leaving till they come back to me, because ain't no way. Ain't no way.
Exactly. That I'm glad I'm not alone. I am so glad. And I've been hearing it a lot lately. That's why I'm like, what is it? Is it in our water or something? Because I never remember moms expressing this much forgetfulness. But now it's like so many of us are like, girl, I can't remember what I ate for dinner. It's getting there. It's getting bad.
I wonder too if it's because we've lived through a lot of like tragedies over the last couple of decades.
Mhm.
Like 9/11 and I'm sorry, Hannah, you were speaking?
Yeah, a lot of events.
Okay, I thought she was speaking. Yeah. So I wonder if it's that too. We just, this happened, put it back in my head. This happened, back in my head. This happened. So like Akeda said, there's information overload. And there's social media, reels,
Yeah.
30 seconds, swipe, all that stuff too.
Actually, that might be what it is. It might be the social media, because I do feel like that's when the depletion of my brain cells start.
I definitely get stuck in the TikTok hole.
Listen.
Keeping that
swiping
checklist
for
open in
hours.
your mind. you got like too many things going on in your mind at the same time. You're trying to remember all these things. You got stuff in the background, like I got all this afternoon, I got this tomorrow, that week. And it's like we're trying to keep it all in mind instead of like, relying on maybe write it down so we don't have to keep thinking over and over. It just gets to be crowded headspace.
Yeah. Certainly now, for sure. And I do think about what Jeany says of like how back in the day, I could remember every single person's phone number. Now, when I meet people, I'm like, I pray they're wearing a name tag when we see each other again, because I'll be like, hi.
And I always feel bad too, because they'll walk up to me and be like, hi, Akeda, or hi, Coach Akeda. And I'm looking like,
Yeah, I learned to say, what's your name again, to let them know I do remember them. It's just a slip, because otherwise, people be offended, like you don't remember me at all. But if you say again, that's a little more helpful.
Yeah,
I'd be
that's
like,
true. Well,
and
I'll take
it's
that note,
not as
Hannah,
bad.
for this weekend, because when I go to Beaufort for my 30th class reunion, I am not going to know anybody. And I'm going to be looking at these
Especially,
people
they all
like,
look old anyway.
hey, y'all.
Satisfy
Tamika
your
now
own
is
needs.
always like, Jamie, you don't remember this person? And I'm like, no. And she's like, they went to school with us. And I'm like, I don't remember. And I don't know why I don't remember, but so much of it is like, if it wasn't like the core people or the people that we were in class with, then I just don't remember them. I don't remember them. So I'm hoping we have name tags this weekend on Saturday, because otherwise I will just be smiling and not like,
Just, hey, that's it. Oh, hey.
hey girl. Yeah.
People will probably tell you who they are, though.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, hey, you remember me? I'm so and so. You'll be like, oh yeah, that's right.
I hope they don't stop at, hey, do you remember me? Because then I'll be like, oh, Tamika, who is this? Who is this? Because
I
I
look
really,
online, I'm like, everybody looks so old now.
yeah, I don't remember most people. And I wasn't even gonna go. I was like, I'm not gonna go. And then I just happened to check, so I have a card that I use that I didn't know was collecting points. And so it collected enough points for me to get a flight out. And I was like, oh, I'll just take the plane down south. Because my mom was like, our family reunion is this weekend. You should be here. I'm like, I see y'all all the time. Like, I do come home. It's just, I didn't intend to do this. But yeah, so I'll be there. And wear sunglasses, like, so that people don't know. I mean, they don't know where I'm looking. Just looking somewhere else. Don't ask me who you are, please. If you are not someone I've spoken to on Facebook within the past 5 years, then I don't know.
Oh man.
Now, I'm gonna make this 30th one great, because I don't know that I'm going back again for another reunion with people that I don't really engage with in regular life. I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, I like getting to see people I haven't seen in a long time for that. But yeah, overall, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about class reunions.
I haven't been to one yet.
You have, right?
I
I had
the people in my class. I like the class in front of me, and I like the class behind me, but I didn't really care for
your
the
class.
people in my class. The ones I liked, I already still speak to, so I never feel the need to go.
I guess you slip into somebody else's. They might not know the difference.
Right.
You all.
You know, you went to school with us. Did you graduate?
Yep.
Girl, it's
you're not
been
gonna
so
remember.
long ago. Don't worry about it. I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
50. I haven't been to one yet.
You haven't been to any of you guys, and I know that you all were having your reunions a lot.
There've been a few over the years.
Yeah, they've been you guys have had quite a few already. I feel like our class has as well, more like cookouts and like meetups.
Yeah. Then I think they had one that was like through, and it had like 3 years together or something like that.
Oh, okay.
For the
Yep. We'll see. I'll tell y'all all about it on next month's prayer call.
Nice.
That'd be interesting.
It will be. Does anyone have anything else they want to say? I'm gonna take you guys' prayer requests and write it down, and Keita gonna pray over y'all. So Keita, I already have like prayer for Trey with the co-parenting, and just for God to come in and give Chance a healing, but that's gonna take some time. I think kids and trauma in general, like healing our kids from their traumas. Jeany with her situation and her inconsistent parent. And that, who else? What else? What else was I gonna say? Hannah, what do you want? Both of you can add to your prayer, by the way. This is what the notes I took down while we were talking. So Keita, if there's more you wanted to add, you can add. Hannah, what would you like prayer for?
I need a successful summit. It's the first one. I'm trying to build up my email list and everything so I can do some things.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes.
wanted to bless the moms that will be in attendance, that they will, be able to grow with it. It's help moms start businesses with their kids so they can make sure their kids are ready when they leave home, and grow close and have some good memories and some financial stability before they leave home and all that. Like basically for people with kids 10 and up.
That's awesome.
Okay.
God ideas.
Jeany, what about you?
Yeah, definitely praying for more consistent co-parents. Praying for my kids' future bonus dad that they keep praying for. Making sure that I'm ready to take that on too. And just my ability in everyday life, but was using wisdom how to navigate work, motherhood. I'm going back to school at 40. Yay! So just just so my brain can do what it needs to do. Thank you for that what you shared, Hannah. That I can't even say it. The sectograph.
Yeah, I wrote
already
that
looked
down
that up.
too.
Yeah, I already Googled it and I could tell that I'm gonna like it because I'm a visual learner. So thank you for sharing that.
I love it. It work with your Google Calendar, and anytime you put something in Google, it'll pop right up on there for you. It's like I just put everything in there.
It's an app.
Yeah, app that's right on your phone and all that. They have it for Apple and Android. Really helpful. Because I needed a virtual calendar because I didn't want to keep writing down the same things every week or every month. And you can just set it for weekly, monthly, all that. All your recurring stuff. Color code, all of that.
I'm just writing down our prayer request. Keita, I'm going to put it in the chat. That way, as you go, if you want to mention it during the prayer, you can do that.
I wrote it down.
Oh, okay, cool. My
Wait,
prayer
sorry.
request is that that God just continue to bless and lead me. That I have a good time at this reunion that I'm reluctant to attend. That for some financial reprieve, or financial reprieve or a plan, like reveal to me how he wants me to navigate the challenges of my finances. Because it's been a struggle for too long. And I feel like there's a point in your life when you start to feel like it's like you've seen it in your family and it becomes like a generational curse. And I definitely don't want to deal with that. I want my children to be able to live comfortably. But I know that there's like, I feel like there's something God wants me to see so that there's relief on the other side. Like I have to get deep into whatever this thing is in order for there to be relief. So for him to reveal to me what that is. And my health, I guess. Prayer that this fibroid is shrinking and not growing.
All right. Is that all? Anybody else?
And for everyone who missed the call, oh, Chrissy's coming on. And for those who missed the call, just prayer to cover the moms in the group as well. Hey, Chrissy.
Hey y'all, sorry so late.
You're fine.
Right on time for prayer. Do you have any prayer requests?
Did you want to check in real quick before we got into prayer requests? So what we all did was kind of it started off a blended family conversation, and we kind of just got into a venting session of like anything that somebody was feeling and they came on with and wanted to get off their chest. They were able to lay it down here. So either if you want to give information, you can do that. If you want to vent, you can do that. If you just want to sit and be prayed over, that's fine too. It's up to you.
Nothing I can think of.
Okay. Are you going to the reunion, Chrissy?
Yes, ma'am. At the last minute, I just paid last week. I wasn't gonna go.
Yeah, sounds familiar.
I was not going.
Sounds very familiar. Well,
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing you, Chrissy.
Awesome. Then I'll have somebody to talk to.
I know. Amen.
Look
Amen.
at God.
Yes.
That was quick.
Look at God.
I was like, they can keep that money. I don't have to go still. I don't know who I want to be around when I go. And I was like, well, Lord, I said I was going because I want to see Alika Kahai, but I don't know if Alika is coming.
Right? Is he coming?
I don't know.
No.
But
I would look forward to seeing Alika. Yes.
If he does it, I'm gonna make a trip to Charlotte.
Alika, Akeda, and Hannah. Well, Hannah probably know. Jeany. Alika Kahai was everyone's crush. Okay.
Yes.
Hawaiian
crush.
Yeah, I remember him.
Hawaiian crush.
Yep.
Yes.
And I saw
I'm glad I'll get to
King
see you.
Denise and them said they'd make sure King Dries gets there, but I wasn't sure if anybody was gonna make sure Jamie was gonna get there.
Oh, Shanice said that Jamie was coming. Shanice said that she's gonna make sure that he comes. I think she paid for him. She paid for him a few weeks back.
Awesome. That's what I wanted to know. Because I don't really communicate with a lot of folks. So that's good to know. Because when I see him, he remembers everybody. So
Jamie?
Yes. Yes.
And what's the story with Kendrice?
I don't know.
Oh, no one's seen him?
I don't know. I just know there was a post in the class group that said she'll make sure he gets there. And I'm like, you okay?
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah. So and then I wanted to do something for a memorial for the classmates that had passed away, but this week is just not looking promising. So I told her I would do like luminary bags that we could just sit on the table since it's a luau with their pictures and stuff on it. I don't want to put dates
Okay.
on it. You know, I really don't care to put dates on it. I've never been a date person when it comes to memorials. So I want to put their picture on it and maybe a couple of sayings on each one of them have a different saying or whatever. And today is Tuesday. I got the
Got some-
bags. I got the picture scanned. I'm gonna put them in Photoshop, see if I can restore them a little bit, but I just wanted to do something because it's been on my mind for a couple of years.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I almost forgot about Tyler Davis. You know, I think he was the last one that whatchamacallit was Lionel was the last one that passed away, but I totally forgot about Tyler Davis.
See, now I gotta go look in the yearbook. I don't even this is I was telling them before you got on that I'm nervous about it because I don't remember everybody. Like I just simply don't remember. Matter of fact, I saw Chrissy when I went home. Was it less than a year ago, Chrissy?
Yeah.
And Chrissy was like, "You remember so and so?" And I'm like, "No."
Nope. She was like, nope, not at all. Look,
I
me and
feel
Clay
bad
sat
because I don't remember people.
me and Clay Wallace sat in the car. When did I pick up his yearbook? Sunday.
I remember.
And we went through the book and made sure like he was trying to remember who we were trying to remember the people who had passed away. Denise had given me a list, like Kevin Hawkins, Jeffrey Burgess, Rashonda Harvey, Lionel Brown, Willie Jacobs, Craig Major, Lavendus Cohen, and Katrina Williams. But when
Right.
me and Clay was going through, he was like, "Don't forget Tyler Davis." I was like, "Oh my goodness." Tyler's mom was my kindergarten teacher's aide. Like I remember this from 30 years ago, y'all. Like 30 plus years because she was awesome. And then
Oh,
she
wow.
was my son's teacher years later.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. So but yes, so those are the 9 that we know of.
Okay. I'll be looking in that book for Tyler. Because the name sounds familiar, but I'm trying to put the face.
Cute white boy, pretty eyes.
Was he slim?
He was in high school. He was on I want to say he was on the tennis team.
I think I remember who it is. If I'm gonna go look, but in my head I'm seeing a specific person, but I feel like he was friends with everybody. Like he was friends with the black kids a lot.
He was friendly with everybody, yeah.
Okay.
Matter of fact, he used to live across the street from, do you remember Battery Creek Elementary?
Mm-hmm.
He used to live across the street from that school.
Oh, okay.
Right there, yeah.
I feel like I remember who Tyler is.
Yeah. And his sister was on American Idol.
Oh.
Haley Davis.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Haley was on American Idol. So yeah.
Well,
but
like
yeah,
I said, I look forward to seeing you this weekend and a few others.
I'm nervous, but I'll be okay.
We will.
You carry the light of Christ. Somebody need to see that.
I don't tolerate foolishness a lot, so I just I've been praying. Like I was praying before I made the payment. And yeah, so yeah.
You like, I already speak to who I want to speak to.
Yeah, and like I don't know. I'm going. I made up my mind. I'm going. I'm not gonna back out. They supposed to do a meet and greet at the game. I'm not gonna make the game because I close at work and I don't know if I want to drive to St. Helena to meet at a restaurant that time of night.
Right.
So I will be there Saturday and I will be there Sunday.
I won't be there Sunday, but I will be there Saturday and Friday.
I'm
I'm
thinking.
still, the jury's still out on
Yeah.
Friday for me.
Mhm.
So Friday, let's see. Hobby Lobby closes at 8. We usually get out of there by 9. Yeah, I don't know if I feel like driving over there today.
Oh, that's Kita's store. Kita, you like Hobby Lobby, right?
Oh, I work at Hobby Lobby. Yes, I love it. Absolutely
I need,
love it. They have a
I need your number, ma'am.
843-321-0970.
Yeah, they got good stuff over there.
Yes. We just did a lot of markdowns. Christmas is out. I'm excited because I really love Christmas. Christmas was big for my dad.
Yeah, Christmas
so
is
Christmas
50% off, but I just bought a bunch of fall
Yes.
stuff.
Yes. Fall should be going up soon. As far as the percentage, because we got to start rotating the fall out because it's Christmas time basically. So we just did a lot of markdowns in cards and party with the plates and napkins and themes and balloon arch designs, paper crafts. We just did a lot of stuff. A lot of people were interested in that cinch to make your own like little notebooks. They were like $60. They clearanced at 18.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, vinyl is like
Clearance.
$5. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff over there.
That's for all you crafty people.
Yes. I got my
Mhm.
feet sitting on the cinch right now. Probably will never use it, but my feet sitting on it. $18. I couldn't beat it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, my little girl, she makes all kind of stuff. She draws, she does sculpting, everything.
Oh,
So you
does
love
she
Hobby
do
Lobby too.
soaps and stuff like that? Soaps are being clearanced out too.
Oh yeah, she does our family soap. She needs her own soap.
Okay.
She be shaping it into
I would,
stuff.
I would definitely tell you to check Hobby Lobby out for their soaps because like I want to say the goat milk base and all of that's been marked down.
Ooh. Yeah, she makes her own slimes, you know, the little toy slimes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now is the time to go looking. I'm telling y'all.
I
It's
love
the
it.
it's
Because she
They got
designed a
aprons
character
for
and she's building it.
$1.99.
Wow.
In wearable art, they got aprons for $1.99. I thought about buying them and just embroidering like positive scriptures on the front and just giving them away.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, flea market stuff.
I thought about that too. I was like, it's time for me to get my business name out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be
Yes.
sleeping
Yeah.
on
Yeah, like the class reunion is a good way to advertise yourself, you know. At least to have your
Girl, don't
face
get me started
fresh.
because they know I do shirts and they had somebody else do shirts.
Child, don't
They
get me
know I do,
started with
they
all
know
that.
they know I do stuff. They know I do stuff. Sorry.
So
Yeah.
many people were saying that like, why aren't they utilizing the people who are in our class that have, you know, whatever business? So there's someone who does decoration. They don't want to pay for somebody to
Yeah.
decorate. There's someone who does shirts. They don't want to pay the person to make the shirt.
Mhm.
There's somebody that has a space. They don't want to pay. Like, I'm like, why not? Y'all took money to spend the money on,
Yeah.
you know,
Like,
make it look
like if
nice.
I would have
Battery.
done the shirts, I would have donated them to the class.
Y'all need a
That would have been
directory
my
and some suggestions and stuff.
I say that
Yeah, I
too
agree. I
because
agree.
Desby Wilson didn't even know about it. And
Oh,
I
wow.
told his wife about it to see if she was coming. And she was like, when is it? I was like, that means y'all don't know.
Right.
Because he's not on Facebook. He's not out there on Facebook. And, you know, I just think they need a directory where they can put something in the mail, pick up a phone, send an email, something. All three, you know.
Yeah. How his parents doing? I lost track of them. I used to have their phone number.
The Wilsons,
Yeah.
as far as I know, they're good. As far as I know. I keep to
Yeah.
myself, and I really do. Besides my business, like I'm out there like that, but I see Tammy every blue moon, and people will be like, "You got a sister?" I'm like, "Where she work?" Because they swear me and Tammy look alike.
Wow. Wow.
But yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready. I'm ready.
That's what
Yeah.
Christine in prayer for this weekend.
don't even know what I'm gonna wear. I mean, I go get my hair done Thursday, but I'm just doing my regular 2-strand twist. I'll probably have Shakia style it or something, but I'm not. eh,
Yeah.
eh.
Yeah, don't be stressed.
Oh
Just
no,
take-
no stress at all. It's just that you know how you around certain people and it's like you feel like you're on a defense,
Yeah, that's
like
why
you
I
got
live
to be
all the way
defending.
4 hours away.
Where are you
I could be
now, Hannah?
myself. Upstate South Carolina. So see,
Okay, okay.
I can be myself here because whatever I do is cool because, I'm making my own rules, like, so I'm from out of town. So anything I do is like, oh, that's just her. Like if I was in Beaufort, I'd have to do it somebody else's way to feel comfortable.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
No
You're
pressure
right.
here.
Yeah,
No family
I've gotten
pressure.
to that.
No
I'm like,
friends pressure. Yeah.
I'm just being me, and whoever don't like it, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just easier to be me over here.
Right.
Look,
Whatever
I
works.
come to Greenville, I come to Spartanburg. I travel. I go to Easley sometimes, so I
Mm,
travel that way. We might have to do lunch, plan lunch or something when I'm up that way. My
mm.
in-laws are in Greenville, South Carolina.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a fabric store up there I want to go to. A fabric warehouse up near on the other side of Columbia somewhere that
What's
I
it
want to
called?
go to. Girl, don't make me lie. Um, I have to inbox you and tell you because I don't remember. My girlfriend does memory bears in Newberry, and she told me about the place, but I can't think of the name. When I look it up, I'll find it though.
Okay.
The warehouse up that way. And then they have the All Carolina Shop Hop starting September 1st through October 31st in North Carolina and South Carolina. They have like a website that tells the different quilt shops and stuff that are participating. I'm gonna try to hit some of those stores as well. So
Okay.
yeah, I want to learn how to do a quilt.
Yeah, I want to
Even
do
if
that
it's
too. Yeah.
yeah, I want
I've been wanting to take my old t-shirts and put like cloth on the other side and then,
hmm
the little souvenir
That's what I
shirts.
want to do. Yep.
So
And you can
my
get your
son,
fabric. It's 40%
wow,
off this week. As y'all can
that's cool.
tell, that's one of my favorite spots.
Okay. 'Cause my daughter made me like a teddy bear, a sloth. She
hmm
just like designed it herself and made it. My 11-year-old, and
Oh wow.
yeah, she's very
Okay.
handy crafty. My son designed his own underwear, and I'm wanting to make like some reusable pads, washable,
Uh-huh. I've seen
because
those.
people
Yep.
are into the eco stuff now.
Yeah. I've seen those. I've seen a couple of patterns for those. Yeah. Your daughter could do stuffed animals for kids in the children's hospital.
Yeah,
Yep.
she's got to learn to use a sewing machine. She did those by hand, and she said it was a lot of work.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure.
First project.
I found my first sewing machine at a Goodwill for like $9, and I'm
Yeah,
still
I've been
using it.
buying. Yeah, me too. I got like a Singer for $20, Singer sewing
Yep.
machine.
Yep.
And there's a shop nearby. I want to repair it because it needs some adjusting now. But
Oh, okay. Yep.
yeah, we bought a couple of them. They have a lot of good stuff, especially things like that people not using anymore.
Right.
Sewing machines.
I'm just learning to sew, so I'm dibbling dabbling. Nothing major, not yet.
All right, Kita, you can pray us all out of here. You got
All right.
everyone's requests.
Okay. All right, y'all bite it in. Lord, we come to you first, just humbly saying thank you for all that you do in our lives, all that you've done in our lives, and all that you will do in our lives. Lord, we ask that you give us your wisdom and guide us along our paths as wives, mothers, sisters, and friends, and that you help us by providing strength, encouragement, and guiding us as we find balance in our lives. God, we are truly thankful for everything that you do. But Lord, we have some requests. Lord, please put a resting and cohesive mending heart over Trayvon as he navigates into this new co-parenting situation. Also lend that same love and compassion into his ex-wife's heart so that they can both do what's best for Grayson and not be concerned with what's best for themselves. Lord, that I ask that you put a healing heart on Chance as he deals with learning how to navigate without his dad and finding healing with or without his dad being a part of his life. Lord, we ask that you help Jeany as she navigates dealing with the inconsistent parent for her children, God. We ask that you heal him so that he can be a help and a healing to his children as they need him to be there in their lives to help guide and bring them closer to you. God, we also ask that you bring someone into her life that will help her not have to do two jobs on a daily basis. We know that you did not create us to do this job by ourselves. So God, we ask that you bring someone into her life who will be that help, who will be that person that she can depend on because she already has someone that she cannot. So we ask that you bring that person into her life, bring that person into her kids' lives, have them accept them into their lives and have him accept them as his own. Lord, we ask that you guide Hannah as she deals with her new business venture. God, bring success to her summit, bring people to her summit, bring everything that she needs. We pray that it all comes together the way that you intended to be, God. We pray that those families that attend her summit will be blessed, that they learn what they need to know to start their businesses, to gain their financial stability, and to do everything that is pleasing to you. God, we also pray for Jeany as she continues to bring us all together monthly to be able to pray together, to be able to vent together, just to be able to come and to congregate with each other, God, because Lord knows that sometimes we are unable to do that on our own. We don't have people in our lives that we can talk to and share everything and be honest with. So God, we thank you for Jeany and giving us this space to be able to come and talk and hope that it brings healing and knowledge or guidance or just an ear to someone in need. God, we pray for Miss Chrissy and for Jeany as they travel to their high school 30-year reunion. We pray that they get there safely and that they have fun and enjoy themselves while they reminisce about all the crazy things they did as kids and all the crazy things their kids are now doing in their lives. God, we ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I left out anything, child.
Amen.
The game and not
Amen.
mine.
I know you wasn't bringing to memory having my kids act like I acted in school. No, ma'am.
Listen. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no. I'm just saying, you got to talk about what you did. Just don't do it in front of the kids because then they'll use it against you.
Of
But
course
you
they
said
will.
you did it, so I
No, they
can
are
do
not coming with me.
Nope. All mine grown, so I'm good. I'm safe.
it. Hey, Gal.
Mm-mm. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, for being on the call tonight. Thank you, Akeda, for hosting and for the prayer. May God cover you and keep you and your family as well. We will be back here next month. Tiffany will be hosting next month in September. Yes, Tiffany's hosting in September. So we'll be back here again. Hannah's about to give me her date when we hang up. Amen.
You're up next, Hannah.
Listen,
Amen.
everybody in here already knows that I'm coming for you at some point. So, Akeda was like, what? You always be trying to rope me into your stuff. So Hannah, she already knows. Jeany, listen, Jeany, I'm gonna let Jeany get a little comfortable. And then when Jeany get comfortable, the December, January, we might have to, we might have to do something. So, Chrissy,
How kind of you.
don't think I forgot you either, because
I already know it. I already know it.
okay. As long as all right. See, we understand each other.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. All right, y'all. I hope everyone has a blessed and good rest of your evening. And I will post this tomorrow or Friday, between now and Friday. Is it okay to post, or do you all want to keep it private? I always ask that.
Fine.
It's just in the group. It's not public.
I'm fine.
Okay, so I will post this so that it's there for other people. We do pray and cover our whole entire group, everybody who shows up all the time, whether it's in spirit or physically here, because some people it's on their minds to come and they just can't. And so we pray for all of them as well. The whole mom tribe. Again, I thank you all for being here. Thanks again, Keita. And Chrissy, I'll see you this weekend. Everyone have
Yes.
a good night.
Good night, ladies.
Be
All
blessed,
right,
everyone.
good night.
Good night.
Bye.
God bless
Bye,
y'all.
All right.
Safe travels.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You.
All right.
Wait.